Welcome back to the channel. Well, we're out in the shop. Well, actually, my garage, because it's new machine day, and there's no better day in a shop than new machine day. And today happens to be a laser engraver. Now, I've been looking at laser engravers for a while now. I felt like I could probably put one to use in my shop, but I didn't really know how much. So I've kind of been putting off the idea of purchasing one. But lately, with the locomotive project that you've seen some stuff about and some other things that I'm doing in the shop, I find that perhaps maybe having a laser engraver or even a laser cutter for being able to cut certain materials would be useful to have in the shop. So I started looking around at different manufacturers and models. I think we're all aware of the major players out there, and I was getting pretty close to pulling the trigger on one, and I'm assuming the internet spies were watching my Google searches, because right around the same time that I was looking at laser engravers, ACMER reached out and said, "Hey, we like your channel, and would you be interested in a laser engraver to evaluate?" Now, you know, this channel, I generally do not do product reviews, and that's not what this is, but even though that's what this is. So I agreed. ACMER went ahead and sent me this P2 33 watt engraving laser engraver, laser cutter. I know nothing about these machines or exactly what it's capable of doing, but I figured they were going to send it to me. I'll go ahead and check it out, and if it works out for my shop, great. If it doesn't, I really haven't lost much except a little bit of my time, and I guess your time that you get to watch this, or you maybe get the privilege of watching this. I don't know. However you want to phrase it. So what they sent me was P2 33 watt laser engraver. So this is how it came out of the box. I've had no opportunity to put any of this stuff together to take a look at it. It does look like it comes with a little bit of material, some accessories. There's the laser module. I think this is a little air pump, and some fancy glasses, I'm sure. They also sent along a honeycomb cutting base. I think this is for when you're cutting through materials. You're going to want to use something like that underneath it. I know nothing about the software. I believe the most common software is called Lightburn. I don't even have that loaded on my laptop yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this thing together, and I'm going to give an honest evaluation of what I think. Now, again, ACMER sent this to me with no cost to me, with the idea that I put together a short little 15-minute video and give it an honest evaluation. They'll have no editorial privileges in this. This will be 100% my doing, take it or leave it. So I'm hoping I'm going to like this because it saves me some money. Yeah, you know, if I don't, we'll just kind of move on from there. But there's some more information. I'll put a link down in the description on this particular machine, and so you can kind of look at the specs yourself. So the first thing I need to do is, well, I need to read the manual because it says vital precautions before use. So I should probably pay attention to those. And I need to take some of this stuff out of the packages. There's stuff that I think needs to be plugged in. There's all this. So I need to take care of that first. And once I get that done, I'll bring you back once I get the software installed too, and figure out what the heck it is that we're going to start cutting. I'm looking forward to having a laser engraver for creating nameplates for certain things, labels. The locomotive project is going to benefit from having something like this because I plan on labeling all of the wiring inside the locomotive because there's going to be quite a bit. Those label makers, I've got a couple of those Dymo type label makers, and quite frankly, they leave a lot to be desired. So the adhesive on them, it just falls apart. And with the kind of use that the locomotive is going to get, I don't think that they would hold up. But I think I would find a lot more use in other areas of the shop too, cutting gaskets and templates and that kind of stuff. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and stop talking and start putting this thing together. Well, this is already not boding well, because one of the first things they say in the manual for installation is to make sure that when you slide this gantry over, that both sides hit the stops at the same time. The one on that side over there has already hit the stop, but you can see this one, which actually has the switch on it, the sensor, is probably a good 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so something jumped there. I was starting to get really disappointed here that something wasn't right. It wasn't right, but I shouldn't have had to loosen that whole thing. That's a little bit better. Take it down to the other end. This end, not as good. Okay, that's on there. Oh, see, now it's back to being a 1/4 of an inch away. Oh man, I gotta bump it. What the heck? Something's not. It's like something's loose. That kind of feels loose. The manual doesn't really tell you what to do here. Maybe there's something online. See, it's doing it again. Every time I go back and come forward, this doesn't line back up. Well, I haven't turned this thing on yet. I'm just following the instructions. Let me keep going, see what happens. Let's see what's in here. I've got a little bit of balsa wood. Looks like some cork, even some black acrylic. Not sure what that is. So let's take a look at the next steps of the manual and see what's next. I need to get my laptop out here too. So I'll bring you back here in a minute when I've had a chance to kind of read through a little bit. Okay, I think I have everything set up now, at least I hope. Really, all this entailed was mounting the laser, hooking up this air line, this power line to it, and also connecting this air pump to the other end of the line and plugging into the power underneath. Power for the unit itself comes to the side through this power brick, and I've got my laptop plugged into the USB port. Now this came with 2 different pieces of software, one called Laser GRBL. This is a free piece of software, and then there's a trial for Lightburn. I will say that I thought the manual was rather lacking. It's very thin. It doesn't really tell you a whole lot about what you're supposed to be doing here. And I actually had to go look at some other YouTube videos to find out a little bit of information on this. I do want to put the honeycomb down here because I don't have any serious surface here. This is just an old, 6-foot table that I've had for probably 20, 30 years maybe. And it is definitely on its last legs, but it'll come in handy here. So let me unbox the honeycomb bed and get that mounted underneath here. And we'll see if we can find some suitable material out of the samples that they sent and start to engrave or cut something. Okay, I have this honeycomb unboxed. That's going to be my base. Now ACMER does include this test piece. They use this machine to cut this with, and it tells you, what kind of power, or for what kind of power, what kind of shades you'll get. Also, it looks like there's some speed and power comparisons for cutting 2mm plywood. Here's some engraving tests, how fast, what kind of power. So, yeah, for what it's worth, it's interesting. We'll keep that handy. Now, this is a piece of plywood that came out of the materials pack. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try here. This honeycomb comes with these little plastic Christmas tree things that you can pin down your part. Now, again, wasn't intuitive. I had to go find this on another YouTube video as to how to set the height of the laser. So head over, there's this little foot, you drop that down, then you drop the head down until that touches, then lock it back into place, and now supposedly that's the height of the laser. With the software, I can set a 0, or I can tell it to go home. There is a function on here to turn the laser on for focusing. Okay, it almost looks like it actually, I'm going to move this. I can smell it. Oh. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, well, that was kind of unintended. Send to machine, okay. Okay, got a little bit smoky in here, so I'm going to open my garage door. So this is a cut test. This should be cutting all the way through this material. Smoke gets in your eyes. All right, let's, I need a better surface to put this on. I'd be doing this in my shop, except for two reasons. Number one, the smoke is part of it. Although I haven't shown it yet, ACMER did send me an enclosure to put over this with an exhaust fan. And if I were to route that exhaust fan out to like a window or something, you know, it would be so bad. All right, well, not sure what this cut test proved, other than it did cut through everything. Well, you can see where it really, a lot of heat affected here. My little test there. But it cut through this really rather nicely. All right, I need to improve the surface that this is sitting on. I have a thought. I've got a piece of plywood over in the corner that I could use as a temporary table. I think I'm going to set that up on maybe a couple sawhorses and use that instead. So let me do that, and I'll bring you guys back when I've got this moved over, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to learn this software. So be right back. All right, now that I've got this on a slightly better platform, it's actually the following day. For a couple reasons. It got a little bit late last night. I wanted to spend some time trying out this laser gribble software. This is free. Lightburn, it's like $100 for some core version, but the Pro is like $200, and quite frankly, I didn't really want to spend that. I think this might work for me. I watched a number of YouTube videos on how to use laser gribble. The software, I wouldn't say it's very intuitive. And since I've never used a laser cutter before, this is all extremely brand new to me. So I've got something here that I want to try to engrave and cut. So it's the logo for the Lakeshore Live Steamers. I am going to open up my garage door because it gets a little smoky in here. Okay, so with the garage door opening, you're going to hear traffic noise. It's just, sorry. I would put this in my shop, but quite frankly, I just don't have the room for it. I don't have any place to put it in my shop. Now, I do have some space downstairs in my basement where I keep my 3D printers, so it might end up going down there. We'll see. The reality is it might end up just being something that I put away until I need it, because I don't know how much I'm going to use it. Now, I say that kind of understanding that when I first got a 3D printer, I had no idea how I was going to use it, and I find that it is an absolutely indispensable tool for me. So I leave open the very good possibility that a laser engraver, laser cutter may end up being one of those tools that I use way more than I ever thought I would. All right, so I think what I want to do here first is I'm going to move this over manually till I get it where I want it. Put that in the corner. I can kind of see the laser, or where the head of the laser is. All right, just like before, I need to drop this little foot down. I'll loosen this, drop it down till that foot hits, tighten it up. We're going to try to frame it. We're going to see how big this is. Okay, it should fit there. All right, I can deal with that. All right, so put on my safety glasses here, my laser safety glasses. I don't know how well this is going to work. It looks pretty light. I think it might be a little bit too light. So it's going to do two different things. It's going to engrave the logo in the center, which is way light, and then it's going to cut the outside. I have the feeling cutting it will be okay. Because I think it's set at like 25%. Here, this is set for 95%. It might be a little bit too fast. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go ahead, move this out of the way. Let's see what we have here. Did it cut all the way through? It did not. No, it did not cut. All right, so next step, let's reposition this. You know, this thing looks like it's almost at an angle. Okay, that feels a little bit loose. So, you know, if I'm going to add some commentary in here about what I think about this laser cutter, I mean, so far it seems pretty solid. I didn't really have to do anything to get it set up and working, but the manual for it is really kind of pathetic. It could be a lot better. I mean, a lot better. Because there's stuff that came with this that I have no idea what it is. I can't find any reference to it in the manual. So some of it I've had to actually just Google for it, see if I can't determine what it might have been. It feels a little bit better. All right, I'm going to record the screen while I try to talk through this. What I did is I took this logo from just a drawing program. Happened to be Pixelmator Pro on the Mac, and I'm going to import the graphic itself, and I'm going to set this to be a line-to-line tracing. So there's my Lakeshore Live Steamers. I'm going to go next, and right now I've got it set for 8,000 millimeters per minute at 95% power. And I think I want to slow this down to 4,000 millimeters per minute, and we're going to go 50% power, and I click create. So there's the first part. Now I'm going to append the file for the background, and the background is just a it's essentially the entire thing that's just black, because I want to cut it out. So I'm going to make this a vector, so I only get that red line is the outline, and we'll go next. And now I want to slow this down. Did I make the other one too fast? Might have. 95% power. Now, with this thing on and positioned, I'm going to click the... Okay, I'm connected. I'm going to click the frame button here just to make sure that it's going to fit. And it will. Alright, so let's see. We'll move you over a little closer to the laser. It's definitely darker than it was before. I've got a small fan in here I just turned on to hopefully get rid of some of the smoke. The resolution could certainly be better on this. I think there's a way you can change that in Laser Dribble when you import the file. That's fine. I'm just testing. I'm learning. Okay, I think that's the end of it. Did that cut all the way through? Kind of looks like it did. Maybe, yeah, it sure did. All right. Here's little Lakeshore Live steamers. Cut out of wood. Yeah, the resolution of that could certainly be better, but that's a function of the software. The laser cutter did a really good job. Okay, so... But cutting a piece of wood like this is probably the least thing I'm going to do on it. So I want to set up to try to cut some 2-color acrylic to cut something similar to this that I could use maybe for some identification tags. So let me get the material mounted on the honeycomb board and I'll bring it back. Okay, I've got a piece of 2-color acrylic in here, and the hope is that the first pass will burn off the yellow and leave the black behind, and then it'll cut it out. So I kind of guessed on some of these settings, so I don't know how this is going to work. Phew, it stinks. But I don't know that it's actually burning everything off. Maybe it is. It also could be burning all the way through. I really don't know yet. I chose a diagonal pattern. I'm going to turn this fan on. I chose a diagonal pattern this time. I saw somebody on YouTube saying that they prefer the diagonal pattern, so I figured why not, I'll give it a try. I definitely think I need to go faster and probably turn down the power of the laser because that looks burnt. I wonder if there's a way I can stop this because I think that is definitely too much. Okay, that's better. That looks a ton better. Well, that's a ton better, but I think it could be, it's just on the surface. I like that this is deeper, so I want this deeper. It's not deep enough. I think one thing you could do with this too, I've seen some videos about taking multiple passes when engraving stuff that keeps the heat input down. So that could certainly be something to consider with a piece like this. It's a little bit deeper in there, so I kind of like that. Or theoretically, you could do one pass diagonal one direction, another pass diagonal the other direction. Theoretically kind of even it out. I don't know. I suppose it's possible. For those of you that are more familiar with laser engravers and laser cutters, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think I should try with this. Alright, that seemed to go okay. It's certainly a lot better. I definitely like that. Maybe 100%. A little bit too strong. That's all right. Did it cut all the way through? That's the question. It did. All right. I think 100% might be a bit much. I don't hate it. That's for sure. Not at all. All right, let's try another one. We'll try doing this all in one shot. Interesting little puff of smoke there at the beginning. I'm actually not sure why, because the settings I'm using are nearly identical to what I was just using. Okay, that came out pretty good. Did it cut all the way through? Don't think that it did. No, it didn't. So I need to redo the outline. Might be a little bit too slow. The previous pass with 2000, I probably should have just done it again. Meh. Yeah, it turned into a bit of a mess, didn't it? Certainly cut all the way through this time. That worked out pretty good. I mean, the thing is, I've got to learn the right settings. Now, the software does have like a material library, but I haven't quite figured out how to use that. Well, as I alluded to before, one of the other things that ACMER sent along was this enclosure to put over top of the laser cutter engraver. It's already got a filtered lens plastic on the front. Zips down. I can easily grab what I need to in and out of here, and it also has an opening on the top if I need to reach in from the top to grab something. So I think this is definitely worthwhile, because not only does it keep it kind of dust free, but on the side of the enclosure there's also an exhaust fan. And with the exhaust fan, there is a flexible piece of piping. You could feed this out a window so we can keep all of the fumes and everything outside of the house, because this thing does put off some fumes. You either need to put this in a very well ventilated area with the extraction fan. You need to wear a respirator. For those of you that are married and want to stay married, you probably want to put this in the workshop, not in the basement where it's going to stink up the house. Because you can't smell it, but the smell that's coming off this plastic is pretty pungent. All right, so the question is now, what do I think of this machine? I like it. I actually like it quite a bit. The software has nothing to do with the quality of the laser cutter itself. That's something that everybody that gets into laser cutting is going to have to deal with. Now, I told you before that ACMER sent this machine to me with the condition that I give it a 10 or 15 minute video. I don't know how long this is going to end up being, but this is that video. Would I have spent my own money on it? That's the more important question. And the answer is yes, I would have spent my own money on this. This is one that I had actually looked at. It is a 33 watt laser, and I wanted something that would definitely be strong enough to cut through some thicker materials, because I do have some plans for this. but that can also handle little things like these little badges that I made. When I compare it to the price of other 33 watt lasers or in that area, this one right here is definitely a good value. What it's going to be like long term, I really don't know. This is not going to get a whole lot of high volume use. So I suspect that this thing's going to last me a good long time. I really don't have any concerns about that. What's going to take the most time really is going to be learning how to use this laser gribble. Like I said, it's not very intuitive, and I think it's one of those things that the more you use it, the easier it's going to get to figure it out. It's kind of like using Fusion 360 to do 3D modeling. Looks a little intimidating at first, but once you start learning the basics, it gets a little bit simpler. Or even 3D printing for that matter. You know, what settings to use on your 3D printer for a particular kind of filament or a particular shape. You know, those are things that kind of come with experience. And I suspect that my usage of this is going to get better the more that I get experienced with it. Now, my son is interested in laser cutters too, so I'm going to let him play with this for a little while at his house, and maybe he'll be able to teach me some stuff when I start really getting into some of the project work that I plan on putting this to use for. So I really want to thank ACMER for reaching out. The timing couldn't have been better, and really appreciate them sending along a very nice laser cutter. Now, I will say the enclosure leaves a little bit to be desired, but you know, that is what it is. It certainly breaks down and ships easy. I think that's the big thing. Some of the other laser cutters I've seen have a hard case, a hard cover to it as well. So, you know, is that a pro? Maybe. It does take up a little bit more space, but I think some of those laser cutters are smaller than this. So upsides, downsides. Overall, I like this machine. Overall, no question about it. If I was going to be spending my own money on a laser cutter, this would definitely be at the top of the list, quite frankly, because some of the other ones, even though they may have a better known name, because ACMER was not one that I knew right away. It did come up in Google searches, but you think of some of the other ones, I don't know, I guess they're a little bit more ubiquitous, but this one I think should probably be living up there amongst the ranks of those as well. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. No better day in the shop than new machine day. At least I think so. At least it can be. I thank you for watching. If you have a laser cutter and maybe can give me some tips, drop some comments down below. I read them all. I don't really get a chance to reply to them all, but I do read them all. Trust me on that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. There's a link down in the description that describes a little bit about ACMER. It's not a sponsored link or an affiliate link or anything like that. Unfortunately, I don't have a discount code to give you. If ACMER gives me a discount code, I'll certainly update the description. But right now, I don't have that for you. But subscribe if you're not a subscriber. The subscriptions to the channel are free. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, there's some links down in the description to tell you how to do that, either through PayPal or through Patreon. Become a channel member. All those things greatly help the channel, and maybe I'll be able to do some more stuff with this. They do have like a rotary engraver where you can put a piece of round stock and it will turn as it's engraving. I thought that would be a really good idea for maybe engraving dials for a machine. I don't know how well that would work, but I think it's worth a try to see. So I might end up purchasing one of those rotary units in the future. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.